Network. I'm here with my favorite all-time mayor in the whole wide world, Kwame Kilpatrick. How you doing, Mr. Kilpatrick?
I'm doing good. I'm doing real good.
So what brings you to this event? We were at the Black Agenda Movement.
Yeah, what brought me here is I was asked by my friend Angie Stanton King to come by and be a part of it. I'm glad I did. But we're talking about how do we create an agenda outside of a political party? You know, what it is that pervade black communities and black families and black people around this country, and how do we focus on a political and community and social agenda that reflects what those people want, need, and desire. And so I love it because finally we're not talking about Republican or Democrat, we're talking about exercising our own people power, our own cognitive skills to build a political agenda that addresses our concerns. And that's from entrepreneurship to business all the way to the social net that needs to be in place for our community. So I love it.
Wow. So one more thing, I met you, well, I didn't meet you, but I heard you speak at my sister's funeral back in 2008. And so you captured her just right, but just from there, you know, you were the youngest mayor in Detroit. You know, how did you get there?
Well, you know, first let me just say your sister, Dr. Sophie Womack, was an amazing doctor, an amazing woman. My son was born with no heartbeat. And my son, my twin, came out. They had to rush him to the NIC unit. And that night, I went down there to see him and snuck in that room. And this little short doctor came and said, "What are you doing in my room?" And that was Dr. Sophie Womack. And from that day, she's been amazing. She saved my son's life, and I just love her to death and always will. I tell you this. It was a journey that first I was born and raised in the city. I love Detroit. I grew up, played in those playgrounds, those rec centers. I played football for those PAL teams. You know, my sons have the same experience. My family, my mother, my father. That was my time. And so when I grew up, I always wanted to be mayor. You know, Coleman Young, I won a contest and met him. He was a 20-year mayor of the city of Detroit. He told me one day I could be mayor, and I believed him. And so after being in the State House for 5.5 years, I was leader of the State House. I ran for mayor at 30 years old, and nobody thought I could win, and I won. And I was in the position nearly 7 years. And during that time, we did some great things for the city. And so I miss the city. I love the city, and I hope one day I get to go back and make a different kind of impact, the spiritual side and community side.
We can't have Trump. America's going to die. What about our country? Y'all was screaming, what about our country? The man came on TV, listen, I'm not a Republican either. But the man came on TV while I'm sitting up in the prison with a 28-year sentence, surrounded by non-violent drug offenders, cats that ain't never had no money. I asked a guy with life, been there since he was 20, 50 years old, what's the most money you ever had? He said, I had like 5-6 bands. Wow. The man got a life sentence, he ain't never had another $6,000 in his pocket. And Trump said the FBI is the most corrupt organization in the world. Yes. And it was black faces coming across ABC News saying, I trust them more than I trust Trump. It was a moment to seize for our community after they done put dope on all your daddies and uncles and brothers and cousins. After they done locked up and made all this. But you can't seize it because you love the system. I'm personal now, self-incrimination. I used to play y'all because y'all love the system. I ran the Michigan statewide campaign for the Democrats. All I had to do was make y'all mad at white folks. I can get whatever I want out of auction. I put together a couple commercials, put a nice little mail piece together, and y'all coming with me. I wasn't supposed to win my re-election. All I had to do was make the dude I'm running against the devil. He gonna take something from you. He's the devil. He gonna take Detroit. He gonna do this kind of stuff. I don't need you to like me. I just need you to hate him. The system is designed to make you hate what you should draw nearer to. And as long as this brother hit that word, love. So first, before you do away with all of this fear and everything, you got to decide, what do you love? Because what you loving might be based on fear. Come on now. And you can't get rid of the fear until you fully accept, I love these people. I trust a white mayor more than a black mayor. So when we get up and stand up, and even when you say stuff about churches, 90% of the churches in the black community are poor. But they don't show you those, the ones that down there feeding people, homeless, making their own check, losing their own houses. They show you Jakes. They show you Creflo Dollar here. And when they show you that, all churches like that got your mama putting money in the pen for the rest of the week. Now he's eating out of soup can. Y'all remember all the raps, right? Most of these churches broke. They losing their buildings more than 80% of the churches that were here 5 years ago. They're running out of churches now in communities over in Philadelphia, Detroit. They closing.
That's right.
So it ain't about the churches. That's the boogeyman. Ain't nobody taking nothing from you but the malls. You ain't spending your money on church. Let's be honest. You spent your money in the car dealership, at the jewelry store, at Foot Locker. Listen, I'll end with this. I agree with this brother so much because I don't care if you talk to Detroit, they know I love that town. And I saw the town love the system more than they love me. And what I saw in a prison cell all by myself, I was locked up in solitary for 225 days. I had to deal with the fact that I was all alone when I thought I was a part of a loving community.
I'm Kwame Kilpatrick, and you're watching TAAN TV.